President, my question is to the Treasurer. Treasurer, have you budgeted for the New South Wales Government's compensation liability under the National Water Initiative triggered by the Department of Climate Change, Energy, Environment and Water's changes to water sharing plans that erode farmers' water property rights?
The Treasurer.
Well, I thank the member for his question, I will just say I'll have to take that on notice, really. It's an interesting question as to have you budgeted for it. I will simply have to check and get some more detail from him and provide it to him, and I'll see if I can do so before the question time is ended. Of course, I would simply point out that the budget is due shortly.
I'd just like to draw back to the question I asked of the Treasurer, and he did look a bit perplexed. The Water Minister was probably less perplexed because we've had these conversations before, but both the Commonwealth and state governments are actually legally required to compensate water licence holders for decisions they make. It's written in the National Water Initiative, it's written in various state and Commonwealth legislation. When it reaches above 3% in terms of a loss, then that's generally when it triggers the state and Commonwealth compensation, or the government stepping in and doing that. And look, there is a lot of water reform going on in the department. There are some concerns that it's not being done well, it's not being done in a thorough way. It's concerns around whether they have the budget to do it properly. If you look at the prescribed wetlands announcement, it seems like there's a bit of performative environmentalism going on where we make this great press release, it's a good news story, we're saving wetlands, but then we're not actually ground truthing the data to show whether the wetlands that have been taken from a satellite map during when we had extensive rain is actually actualised and realised on the ground. There's an example, I know of a farmer up north where the satellite picked up an image of two dams and a depression in between, and there was just an assumption, because there was a little bit of moisture between two dams, which was probably seepage, but that's somehow a prescribed wetland. And there's been a refusal from the department to actually ground truth it. Another example briefly is a New South Wales Murray farmer who has actually lost $1 million worth of crop and faces a $5 million property devaluation due to a trading rule change last year. And I'd probably argue that that sits above that 3% loss in terms of productivity and is worthy of the Minister looking at in terms of compensation.